Right, checking sound. Let me check in sound of here as well.
The deployment.
Okay. We got both sound of mine, have video. Let me see if okay. We got just checking that we are everything is nice, the sound, video. Okay, we can start. My body language bodies, give me 1 second to check that everything is going well. And well, hello, welcome back to my body language bodies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and I absolutely had to make this live stream to talk about what is going on in the UK and why I think that Keir Starmer's words were the worst possible and triggered what is going on right now. And since I have so many followers on in the UK, and at the same time we are seeing this crazy developments all over the world, I feel the need that I'm going to try to not explain. I don't want to like brag that I'm going to explain what's going on. I'm going to give you my insight on what is going on, all right? And especially Keir, or I don't know how to pronounce his name. I really don't care. Keir Starmer's words, which I think were the worst possible, and what triggered the tragedy. All these riots that have been going on. I think, let me keep I thought I was going to be able to go live on X. Let me check. I think it was not possible. We are live through YouTube and Rumble as well. Yeah, sadly, we cannot go live through that, but we can begin. We can just make sure. Okay, gonna close some windows and wait a second. I just want to make sure that the bandwidth goes well. All right. So what is going on here? What do I think it's the thing that is happening? I'm going to play Starmer's words, which are this. I'm going to go back to this spot. I'm going to play this very short clip of his words because this is the problem. Okay, this is the main issue. The most critical issue are these words. I'm going to explain why.
And that's why this is so important. In relation to the Muslim community, look, let me be very clear. I will take every step that's necessary to keep you safe. And that's why I said what I said about mosques being attacked because they're mosques. The far right is showing who they are. We have to show who we are in response to that. And that's why we pulled together this response this afternoon to try and coordinate and make sure that as we face the next few days.
Okay. This is the thing. I would like to think that it is a mistake. But as many people are telling me on X I cannot disagree. You know where I come from. I already, if you haven't watched it, remember that I have a video both on YouTube and on X, how governments use illegal immigration to control you. It's around 20 minutes, no slides, just me talking, but that is the best explanation that I can give you to what is going on. And Starmer's words are making this an issue, an us versus them issue, a black versus white issue. And I don't know. I really don't know if I can give him the benefit of the doubt, but because this is he's painting a this issue like this, as in Muslims are being attacked and the far right must be punished. I'm going to change my slide here, and I want to make it really clear that the real duality on any society, the real problem in any society, not a problem, is the duality which happens in every single society, is that you have law-abiding citizens and you have criminals. It's that simple. And if you have law-abiding citizens, it's the duty of the police and the law enforcement powers and agencies to defend and protect the law-abiding citizens and arrest and punish and, if it's necessary, deport criminals. It's that simple. It doesn't need any other category. What I find really concerning in Keir Starmer's words is that he says that I would go. Let me review his words again. Very clear. I will take every step that's necessary to keep you safe about the Muslim community. Mr. Starmer, I have many Muslim friends. Great people, by the way. They know I have my religious stances. They have their religious stances. We live our lives really nice. Nobody judges anyone. I agree that you have to protect the Muslim community, but not as in a blanket statement like they are the victims of this. No. I think the real definition of the real words should be, I will take every step that's necessary to keep law-abiding citizens safe. I'm going to repeat that because this is important. I will take every step that's necessary to keep law-abiding citizens safe. And law-abiding citizens of the United Kingdom, or by extension any other country, they could be Christians, they could be Muslims, they could have any religious belief, they could be of any race, they could come from any country. It's that simple. It's not that simple to imagine that. I'm going to change to my to this slide so you better see it. Law-abiding citizens. It is a blanket statement. I really don't care. If you were born in the UK, if your parents were born in the UK and your grandparents and, 100 generations before you were born in the UK, or you came to the UK on a boat. If you're a law-abiding citizen, in the strict sense of the word, then the government, police, you deserve that protection. And by law-abiding citizens, that includes that if you are in the UK and you were not born in the UK, the most sensible thing is that, you try to assimilate into society. It's not that hard. I have done it in more than one country after leaving Venezuela. It is not that hard. And regarding criminals, let's talk about criminals. Criminals can come from any background. Again, I don't care if your ancestors date all the way 1,000 years ago in the UK. I don't know. You fought the Vikings, the Roman Empire. I don't care. If you break the law, you will be arrested and you will be punished because of that. If you came in a boat and you break the law, you not only have to, you will be arrested, you will be punished, and most probably you should be deported. That's how it works. We shouldn't care what is the color of people's skin, what are their beliefs, or any other characteristic besides being a law-abiding citizen and respecting your neighbor. I'm going to give you a classic example in Latino communities. I'm going to give you a classic example. This is very simple to understand. Imagine today is Sunday, and Sunday you want to sleep a bit until late, right, in the morning, maybe until 10 or 11. But all of a sudden, you are in a Latino country, and around at 9, your neighbor decided to play vallenato on full volume, like turn up to 11, while he washes his car. And you cannot sleep until, because the noise is so unsettling that you have to literally wake up at 9. Your neighbor is not behaving because, he wants to wash his car and he wants to listen to vallenato really, really loud. This is anecdotal. This is actual experience. So, you should be able to, maybe just call the police so they can come and tell him, hey, you have to put the volume down because you have this noise pollution. Or if it's late at night, you want to sleep and it's 2 in the morning and your neighbor is putting vallenato on full blast, then the police should come and tell them, hey, you have to turn it down. In high-trust societies, people have the common sense of not play vallenato in full volume, or at least they buy nice headphones and they wash their car with the waterproof headphones and they can listen to vallenato in full blast. Not nice. But sadly, not every person in every society is like that. And the moment that you begin to lower that trust in a society, things get more complicated. But things are not complicated when you think in terms of law-abiding citizens and criminals. And things should not be complicated when someone wants to legitimately protest a horrific crime in your community. Because it happened, the person should be punished. Maybe it has happened. Maybe the things have escalated up to that point. It is not that an isolated horrific crime happens and all the community goes out and begins to protest. No, it really doesn't happen like that. It is a series of events through months or even years. In this case, it's years, in which you see, as I explain on my video, how governments use illegal immigration to control you. You see that crimes are getting worse and worse and worse and worse until they are absolutely something that you never thought that they were going to happen in your country. Like, how did we get to this point? So you decide to take it to the streets and protest peacefully. And I'm not being cynical or sarcastic here. No, you go for a peaceful protest. But the problem is that in every society, they are latent. Latent. Is that? I have to check. I want to check the. Latent sociopaths. Sociopaths that live among us. I would not say psychopaths because psychopaths are much more uncommon. Let's talk about sociopaths that are much more common. Sociopaths that live among us. That is maybe it's like your neighbor that puts the vallenato at full volume. But those sociopaths literally want to watch the world burn. I don't care. It is irrelevant. Why are they like that? Maybe they had a harsh upbringing. Maybe they have some kind of, I don't know, condition. Maybe they are frustrated because of a relationship break. Maybe they are frustrated with the economy. Maybe they are frustrated at the clouds. I don't know. But there are sociopaths among us. And when the law-abiding citizens who are horrified by this heinous crime take to the street to protest that the police should have been doing something all this time, again, I'm going to give the example. Let's see if you have, I don't know, a community that has been peaceful for a long time, let's say 10 years, and all of a sudden a horrific crime happens. That will be taken as an isolated incident, and it's not like people are going to take to the streets. Okay? That is rare. That would not happen. People take to the streets because they are fed up of so many things happening through many years. It's like you reach a boiling point and you want to protest. And that peaceful protest, sociopaths find a way to channel, well, that wanting to watch the world burn. Because the arson attacks on police stations, those are not people protesting the stuff. No, those are sociopaths, arsonists. They want to watch things burning, and they can finally hide among the people to go and burn something in a police station. That is, they find it funny. At last, I have on the way to do this. And no, not everybody who is protesting the stabbings wants to burn things. Not everybody who is protecting the stabbings is going to break windows or throw bricks. They want to make their voice be heard. But among them, the sociopaths burn cars and stuff, break windows, steal from this. It's just stealing. How are you protesting something by stealing from shops, from commerces? That doesn't make sense. You know that is not protesting. That is actual vandalism. Those are criminals. So the problem is when you have Keir Starmer classifying this as Muslims versus far-right thugs, which it couldn't be more incorrect. No. This is not, we have to protect the Muslims and we have to punish the far-right thugs. And yes, this must be on purpose. I have no other way of explaining it. No, you have to protect the law-abiding citizens. Maybe some of them are Muslims. Maybe some of them are Irish. Maybe some of them are Christians. Maybe some of them are, I don't know, atheists or Venezuelans, for example. But as long as they are law-abiding citizens, you have to protect them. You cannot put this, you cannot make this as protect the Muslims and punish the far right. What is far right? That's why people are saying, what do you mean is far right? Keir Starmer. Are the stabbing protesters far right? Now, don't get me wrong. Let's try to let's try to put this this way. I told you that in the law-abiding citizens group, there could be Muslims, Christians, whatever. But at the same time, in the criminals group, there could be Muslims, there could be Christians, there could be British people who have been born, have lived all their lives in the UK, and Venezuelans who have come to the country, or people who it doesn't matter. This distinction is what creates and perpetuates the infamous two-tier police. Because how do you are saying that you are going to protect all Muslims, regardless if they are law-abiding citizens or not? How can you say something like that and not expect people to take to the streets? And of course, some of those people are going to protest peacefully, and in that group, the sociopaths finally have a way of, channeling those like the desire for destruction. And again, the sociopaths can be Christian, can be Muslims, can be Venezuelans. They come from any kind of race and background. Again, this is about law-abiding citizens versus criminals. I don't care who or where or what is the color of your skin or anything. You are a law-abiding citizen, and you should be protected from the criminals, and not the other way around. And this is something that I wanted to make a video about. And eventually I will make a video about this. You know that I have to. I forgot to say. I forgot to mention something before this. It's even more upsetting that Keir Starmer not only says that he is going to protect the community, the Muslim community at all costs, and will punish the far right. Right, granted, they are far right racists out there. That is a given. I would never pretend they don't exist. They do exist. They are in the group of criminals. Because, well, you might, let's say that someone is a racist, but that person doesn't talk about his racism online, doesn't stir hate, and abides by the law. Well, as long as he can think whatever he wants, but as long as he's a law-abiding citizen, he will be fine. But you break the law, I don't care. You're getting my point, right? So, problem with this is that he says that because of the riots, he is going to have this special force to look for the far right thugs and all that stuff. And I can't help but make this like analogy when you're going to end a subscription, maybe you're going to end, you have a service and you're going to end the subscription, and the service tells you, oh, do not end your subscription. Here you have 3 months for free. So you don't end your subscription. You say, why didn't you give me the 3 months free before I asked for this? What is the analogy? Why didn't you design or craft or come up with a special force to tackle actual criminals in the UK? From the beginning. Seriously, do you want everyone to believe that you have goodwill about this? No, it is now. After the stabbings, after the protests, and after Muslims have been targeted, that's when we are going to like to amplify our force. No, because it is about this, law-abiding citizens and criminals. And you are making it about Muslims and the far right. And this, Keir Starmer's words, these words, this duality is what stirred all the chaos, because you realize, what is this? Why these labels? And I'm going to be really clear about this. In the Muslim community in the UK, imagine the complete Muslim community in the UK. There are going to be law-abiding citizens, and there are going to be criminals. You know what you have to do. It's as easy as that. And this is what I wanted to say before making that decision, that why Keir Starmer is now, oh, we are going to devise a special force or whatever. Now, you might be saying, well, the guy hasn't been there, has 3 weeks, I don't know, in the job. It is not Keir Starmer. Yeah, but he said those words. He said those words, and he has to face the consequences of expressing. It was not Rishi Sunak, it was not Boris Johnson. No, it was him who said that. So he has to face the consequences of this. So I'm going to tell you another thing, which is the video that I want to make, which is when you are arguing, have discussion online and in person. I'm going to give you the example of these Venezuelan gangs that are terrorizing people in New York City and other cities in the United States. There are Venezuelan gangs in New York City, very dangerous gangs. And I'm Venezuelan. How do you think I would feel, or I feel, in fact, I do feel, how do you think I feel when someone says we have to get rid of all Venezuelans? It is the Venezuelans the problem. I'm tired of hearing that. I was not the only one who left my country. We are all over Latin America, and in many countries, they just hate us. Again, there are law-abiding Venezuelans and Venezuelan criminals. It's that simple. But when you put all of us in the same bag, hey, stop there. I don't like that. That is not fair. I am Venezuelan. I am Christian. I am a Catholic. If you try to put me in a bag where maybe there's a Catholic who is a criminal, it could be a Christian who is a criminal, there could be Venezuelans who are criminals, plenty of them, but I'm not one of them. And if I'm not one of them, then it's obvious. You don't have to be like this. It's that you cannot talk about it's the Muslims, it's Islam, or my favorite that I hear over and over again, it's the Jews. What do you mean it's the Jews? Because I immediately think about myself. When someone says, oh, Maduro, which I really have a hard time trying to not be like keeping my channels family friendly when talking about Nicolas Maduro. When people talk about Venezuela, generally, for example, when they say, oh, the US has sanctioned on Venezuela, all that stuff, they are putting the Venezuelan government, Venezuelan adults, whether we abide by the law or whether they're criminals, and Venezuelan children, all in the same bag. And I cannot understand how we have gone so far as a civilization. We have gone so far in technology. We have gone so far in everything. And we still use blanket statements to talk about people. Let's talk about Jews again. One thing is Israel's government. Benjamin Netanyahu. Again, you know what is my opinion about politicians. I don't trust any single one of them, and Netanyahu is not an exception. Okay? Adult Jews or Israeli adults, I don't know, I don't know how to say that, but you understand that the adults, they could be law-abiding citizens, they could be, some of them could be criminals. But you cannot put them all in the same bag. And then you have the children. Because if you talk about Palestine, you talk about Israel, talk about Iran, and talk about Lebanon, and talk about the United States, and talk about the UK, the children from any of those countries doesn't have anything to do with whatever stuff adults are doing about their policies and about, well, everything. And that is a huge distinction that we have to make. And that is a huge problem that we are living in this. I don't know how is it possible that we are. Some of you are saying that, well, maybe you like some politicians. Okay, that's okay. But the problem is that politicians are creating this. How can I justify this as a mistake? He made a mistake. He read a speech. Someone wrote it for him. How come they didn't think this through? It's the only way that we have to interpret this is that this was on purpose. And again, you need to watch my video on how governments use illegal immigration to control you. And today, someone was given this argument, this idea that there's no such thing as illegal immigration because all these people that are coming illegally are not really illegals because they are going through the asylum process into the country. And those asylum processes, many of are covered by the Geneva Convention. I haven't been able to review all of that. But it's obvious that countries must have some kind of cap for that. And the most important part is how those migrants assimilate into the country. I am not saying that they have to quit their religion. That is not necessary. I am not saying that they have to relinquish their culture, but that you cannot impose that on other people. We are not demanding that you impose that. Well, maybe you, for example, maybe you decide that you want to live in a country and that country has forbidden your religion. Well, you have to make your decision, right? You're an adult, you have to make a decision about it. Maybe you decide to switch religions just because you want to live in that country, but you are making that switch. It would be a mistake if you want to go to that country and try to impose your beliefs on your hosts. That wouldn't make sense. This is a bit more complex when we talk about how every country, again, watch that video. I explain in detail, 20 minutes. You can watch it 2x. That would be the best way to watch my video. That's why whatever is patriotism is frowned upon these days. Like you're a patriot, that you love your country, you're far right. What does it mean? I love my country. Maybe you are from the UK and you love your country and you love your culture and tradition. You're a bigot. You are far right. You have to embrace multiculturalism. Why? I have my beliefs. I have my culture. I have my tradition. I don't want to relinquish that. I don't want to dilute that. I can help people that come to my country. I need a hand. I'm human. And in the scope of my possibilities, or to the extent of my possibilities, if I can help another human being, doesn't matter where he comes from, or what is the color of his skin, or what he believes in, I will do it. But every country and every citizen of every country who believes in tradition and who believes in country has the right to say, I have to think of myself first. I have to think about my country first. And nobody bats an eye when Japan acts like that. And then people wonder, how come Tokyo has like 30 million, I remember 30 million people, and crime is so low? Because yes, they are a very strict code of community. Yes, there is crime, of course, but if we extrapolated that to the cities on Western countries, then Japan would be long gone. And no, it hasn't been long gone. And how come other societies that are really multicultural, let's talk about, for example, let's give you an example. United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi, Dubai. The actual locals are like what, 20% of the population? It's something crazy. I read it. I don't remember the exact number, but something crazy. The actual locals are really a minority. It's really from people from every part of the world. Why is there so little criminality in there? Because you break the law, you will be punished. Oh, but foreigners are punished harder than... You're saying that foreigners are punished harder than locals? Well, we should look at the numbers about that. And in all cases, if a foreigner, I have to say this, and this is going to be uncomfortable for some sensibilities, but we're talking about two-tier police. Let's say that, how can I say that to not get into trouble? Oh my God. That's why I prefer to create recorded videos, because I can write things and think things through. I am not saying that there's a two-tier police in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or in the United Arab Emirates. But in all cases, there could be a duality or a two-tier, in the sense that if you're a local, if you're a citizen, an actual citizen, you know that you cannot become, as a foreigner, you cannot become a citizen of the United Arab Emirates. There's no way you can do it. If you're a citizen of the UAE, then, well, you get a punishment, okay? There's a punishment, that's it. But if you're a foreigner, you get the punishment and you will be deported. So think about that like you have an extra to your crimes. So if you're a citizen of the UAE, you cannot be deported because you're a citizen. But if you're a foreigner and you break the law the same way as a local, well, you will get the same punishment, but you will be deported instantly. Most probably they will just deport you because they would not want to the burden of putting you in jail. Although the idea is to actually signal to other people living in the country and signal to people that want to come to your country that if you break the law, it's not that you're going to go with just a slap in the hand. No, if it's 2 years in jail, you will get the 2 years in jail. So get yourself a good lawyer or don't break the law. That should be, it's like that. Think about that. Think about it. I know that many of you are making, are in comments. I really haven't been putting an eye on your comments. But I know that you can understand how this works. You cannot say, you cannot grab like all Venezuelans are criminals. No, you cannot do it. I mean, you could do it, but that would be a really low IQ take, and you will miss on really nice Venezuelan people who could be your friend. But if you think that all Venezuelans are criminals, then, well, it's your loss. So by extension, you should not do it with British people or Christians or Japanese or Muslims. It doesn't make sense. They are good and bad people in every single corner of the world. And there are sociopaths in every single corner of the world. What I'm seeing here is a governments that want to spark things, that want to spark this kind of stuff. Wait a second. Think out. Just one of my mods, Jenny, was telling me that she had lost mod status. No, she's got the status. How do you say these words and you pretend people to not get, well, upset about this, really angry about this? Again, I am not justifying destroying public property. I think that is low IQ. I think that is stupid, because the public property is the property that you enjoy, and is the property that you maintain with your taxes. Destroying public property is, well, making your taxes go to waste. So the people who are burned in the police stations, no, those are sociopaths. Covered, latent sociopaths that just want to cause trouble. And there was also this thing I wanted to mention. This happened today. I was going to make a video about this, but I want to mention it right now. This is how the truth is being suppressed. The UK's most senior police commissioner shared a balanced and sensible post that condemns violence while addressing concerns shared by millions in the UK. Guess what? The post was taken down. And the post is this. It is important to read this because I think this is on point. It's very close to the correct take. Maybe it's not, it doesn't float your boat. I agree with most of this. I'm going to read this. Donna Jones, chair of the Association of Police and Crime Commissioners and Police and Crime Commissioner for Hampshire and the Isle of Wight, has called for calm following this upsurge in violent protests up and down the country. The rioting and civil unrest across the country following the murder of 3 children in Southport has escalated to a worrying level. Police officers have been injured, buildings have been targeted because of those living in them or worshipping at them, and police cars and vans set on fire. Millions of pounds of damage have been done and more than 100 people have been arrested, and this was this morning, with many more expected. Police stations are burning, police officers' annual leave has been cancelled, and riot police are dusting off their shields from Land's End to John O'Groats. The behavior of some of those protesting has been extremely violent, highly distressing, and absolutely criminal. Sociopaths. This weekend, but not all of them, some want to protest and make an actual protest of the stabbings, and some want to just cause chaos. This weekend, a number of protests are planned across the country and across political and ideological spectrums. The announcement of the Prime Minister's new violent crime units have led to an accusation of two-tier policing. That's natural. Which has inflamed protesters who state they are battling to protect Britain's sovereignty, identity, and stop illegal immigration. And that's why they are called the far right, especially if you defend British identity. Burning towns and cities and attacking the police is not the answer. Well, how do we stop it? Good question. I have spoken to people from both sides of the spectrum, and the only way to stem the tide of violent disorder is to acknowledge what is causing it. And here comes the best part, and this is why it was taken down. Whilst the devastating attacks in Southport on Tuesday were a catalyst, the commonality amongst the protest groups appears to be focused on 3 key areas: the desire to protect Britain's sovereignty, the need to uphold British values, oh how dare you, in order to do this, stop illegal immigration. The growth of feeling across the country has mirrored, to a lesser extent, the rebellion to illegal immigration that has played out across France over the last 12 months. It's because of this paragraph that this was taken down. I have no proof, but no doubts either. Because you cannot say anything about asylum seekers. And again, nobody has ever said, and I did not say that in my video, nobody has ever said that every single asylum seeker or every person that comes to seek for asylum is a bad person or a criminal. Remember, we don't know where you come from. We don't know how long have you been living here, or your ancestor has been here. If you're a criminal, you have to pay for it, and if it applies, you have to be deported. Maybe you are an asylum seeker and you vowed to abide by the law and you have abided by the law. It is not fair that you're going to be put in the same bag as criminals, wherever those criminals are. I know that I'm repeating myself over and over, but it's something that is baffling to me. That's something that is basic civics, basic living as a civilized society has to be explained. And what's more frustrating is that I know that all of you that are watching me right now, my body language buddies and my royal rogues, all of you understand this. Because I know if you're watching me, I know that you understand this. What none of us understand is how you make this a duality to steer a controversy that is so triggering that you literally set the country on fire just before going on a holiday, going a week off, and when the parliament is on leave as well. It is really upsetting. And that's why I tell you that I have seen so much stuff. I have seen so much stuff throughout my life. And I always feel ashamed that how couldn't I wake up sooner? So many signals. This is absurd. The government must acknowledge what is causing this civil unrest in order to prevent it. Arresting people or creating violent disorder units is treating the symptom and not the cause. Oh my God, and what is the cause? The questions these people want answering. What is the government's solution to mass uncontrolled immigration? How are the new Labour government going to uphold and build on British values? This is the biggest challenge facing Sir Keir Starmer's government, and it's beaten quickly. And again, I understand that the new government doesn't have even a month. But if you use the words this way, man, I will bet for the lettuce instead of you. I will place a bet for the lettuce instead of you. As a national police leader and a police and crime commissioner, someone who has spent almost 2 decades representing the public, this is the clear message I will put to the Prime Minister and Home Secretary this week. We all need to work together to stop this mindless criminal behavior committed by a small number of people, whilst understanding the views of those attending rallies who feel strongly but don't cause disorder. How much more logic do you want? The last paragraph doesn't mention far right. The last paragraph doesn't mention Muslims or Christians, and doesn't mention asylum seekers or I don't know, lifetime citizens. I don't know, native population. Doesn't mention any of that. We all need to work together to stop this mindless criminal behavior committed by a small number of people. I don't care who those criminals are. Those are the ones who have to be arrested, punished, and if necessary, deported. And this is what Keir Starmer is selling to the nation. This is the message that he is pushing. His words, not mine. Nobody has made this. This did not come from the ether. This is not fairy dust. This is not the body language guy making up things. This is pure and simple logic that comes from common sense of how living in a civilized society works. Nothing more, nothing less. And this, I don't know how to call this. I really try to not say something inappropriate here. was understanding the views of those attending rallies who feel strongly but don't cause disorder. Yes, people have the right to protest. People have the right to complain that why those horrific crimes are happening in our society. Because so many things have been prevented, can be prevented. And now you're saying, that, oh, you're going to control social media, but you're going to control social media not for criminality itself. No, you're going to control social media for the riots. Again, I invite you to go to my YouTube channel, The Body Language Guy, and look for one of my recent videos, how governments use illegal immigration to control you, and there is explained from A to Z without leaving any details outside. So many of you tell me that you know what is the problem. We all know what is the problem. We have to put it into words. We have to realize that we are being, all of us, from many countries, being gaslighted into submission. I know it. Because the Venezuelan government tried to gaslight me into submission. Until I said, I will not stand this any longer. I will fight back. I fought back. I had to leave the country. But many people cannot afford to leave the country and are not willing to leave their country and not even think of leaving their country. And I defend your decision of fighting for your country, as I defend the decision of many Venezuelan brothers that stayed in the country and the decision of those who left it. You know how important is freedom to me. I would say it's my most important value. And as I say, when I talk about the US elections, you can vote for whoever you want. I am not going to judge you. You have the right. You have the freedom. And whoever you vote for, I applaud that you have the freedom to do it, to exercise your freedom to vote for whoever you want. But we all need information. We all need to understand what are we voting for. And sadly, yes, you are going to tell me that sometimes politicians promise one thing while they are in campaign and they do something else when they assume power. And I will tell you, that's how it goes in many ways. I don't have a solution to that. I think nobody has a solution to that. I do my best to expose the true character of people. There's so many politicians in this. I don't trust any politicians, but some politicians I trust even less than others. Justin Trudeau is a great example. I would love to give you a solution. That's something that I find it very hard not to do. There's some kind of solution. there's no quick solution to this. Jesus, do you mean that we should not go out and protest? No, you should absolutely, you have the right to protest. Every Western country has the right to protest. But at the same time, you have to be completely honest about what these law enforcement agencies and organizations and organisms are really doing. Is there a two-tier police in place? And it's very easy to see sometimes in social media when you see the same judge giving one sentence to one crime and giving another sentence to another crime. And those, I would call it covert anger crimes, you know them, when you tweet something that is hurtful, you know how can it go, right? While other crimes, which are horrific crimes that have been going even more and more horrific, are not punished in the way that they should. This is something that is actually happening. I don't want to repeat myself, but this chaos that is inserted in society very slowly is used for control. And we already know how it played out in 2020 when that mutant virus from unspecified origin made the world go crazy. And maybe at some point on my locals account, I have a locals account, at some point I will be making videos there. I will give you my take on those crazy years and what is my hypothesis of what really happened. Meanwhile, the first step is this one. Identify the meaning, reading between the lines. Identifying the true intentions of this. This cannot be a mistake. And to finish this live stream, I would say that this is much more than politics, much more than our societies at stake. This is a spiritual war, a literal spiritual war. And we're fighting it in levels that most of us cannot comprehend. And I would like to come up with something catchy or inspiring to give you hope. But right now, all that I can give you is to tell you that you should be safe. How to be safe. We are looking at the tip of the iceberg. And at the same time, which also happened in my country and also happened in the United States in those riots that you could remember from I think it was 2021, 2021, I think it was, or 2020. You also have cells from, let's say, I'm gonna say this without getting in trouble. Oh my God. See, this is like I need an attorney right next to me. Let's say cells align with the upper echelons of powers inserted in the protests to, maybe those sociopaths are not going to really go into, their arson attacks and stuff until they see others do it. And those others are like, that there was this phenomenon. It was like clack. I don't remember the exact word. But at the opera, like 200 years ago in theater, you got these people who was the clack, who was the people paid to like applaud at the right times at a play or the opera, so the audience knew that it was time to applaud, right? It's like you have this live shows or recorded shows, and you have this applause light or laugh and stuff for the audience to know when to react. It's silly, but it is a thing. And 200 years ago, it was people who knew when to applaud, and they began applauding. So everybody in the hall began to applaud. It's the same with riots. Like you have one or two or three people that are inserted there to trigger all the other sociopaths who just want to cause trouble. And then the government says, oh, we have to control social media and we have to send more police. Why didn't you send more police when the community needed it the most? I could be talking about this for hours, and this is not going to be the last time I cover this topic. And sadly, this is not something that is going to be solved in an easy way. But the most important part is, how do we define things? I'm going to be very clear. This is not about Muslims versus far right. This is about law-abiding citizens versus criminals. I don't care who are those law-abiding citizens. How long have they been in the country? What are their skin color? Who do they pray to? And I don't care what is the color of the skin of those criminals, or how long have they stayed in the country, or who do they pray to. This is the distinction that we have to make. Absolutely everything else will be weaponized by countries, governments, to put every single one of us against each other, to fight each other. And that is the plan, because if we are fighting each other, then we are not focused on who is the actual responsible of this. I'm going to read your super chats. Prep. Does it mean make a difference, peaceful or not? If you aren't on the correct side, you're vilified. Look at the Canadian truckers. Well, that's why I tell you that I don't trust Trudeau. Cast Trudeau, as I call him. No, at all. Your discernment is your freedom. Don't give up. Yeah. Thank you. I can prep too. Thank you for your super chats. And this is... yeah, divide and conquer the Android as well. They want protesters to round up and lock up. You will be labeled a violent insurrectionist. Agreed as well. They definitely want us divided. Yeah, Quiet Girl. I agree with you. Young's Coaching Corner, where are you going live again? Well, I was going live today twice on my Royal Road channel. Maybe I will take some time to just maybe half an hour. Maybe I could make a live, but on my Royal Road channel about the article, something absolutely not has nothing to do with this. But here on the Battle Language Guide channel, I will be focusing on these topics. What is the issue? I want to talk about this. These are very delicate topics. I've been like my mind on overdrive these days. How can I approach these kind of things in the most efficient and fast way, because things are happening so fast. And I know that having this huge outreach, I've told you, I have this responsibility of speaking as fast as possible, but understand that I need to take things easy at the same time. I'm very passionate, and I need to make sure to measure my words. That's why I usually do recorded videos, because I can really think what I'm going to say. And a live stream is just no holds barred. I'm thinking, of course, I'm thinking about measuring my words, but understand that it's a bit difficult for me in terms of I don't want to get into trouble, and I would just want to make a point, and I just want, as I mentioned when I talk about the US elections, I just want you to be better informed. I don't want you to just share my point of view. I have a point of view, and a point of view made thanks to thinking building blocks. And I have these building blocks which are completely impersonal. They don't have race or religion or politics. They are just facts. They're just pure logic. I grab those blocks, I connect them in a way that suit my values, and I have an opinion formed about all this. Maybe your opinion is different. Maybe you want to, of course, we all agree that children have to be protected at all costs. I think that's something that we can agree on. And even there are people that disagree and even go against that thing. But you know that rabbit hole. Maybe that's a topic for another video. Very deep topic, very controversial topic. And sometimes YouTube is great to reach a lot of people, but YouTube is very strict with certain topics. I don't know how it will take this topic. I'm also live on Rumble, and there are some things that I could be sharing on locals. It's not that I'm going to go all crazy on locals. It's maybe that I'm going to give you the actual tools to think about these things on my locals account. But anyway, if you can join my locals account, or you can subscribe to my email list. I think I forgot to, maybe in the next live stream I could include the link, or as soon as this live stream ends, I will put the link in the description to subscribe to my email list. But again, I don't want to impose a way of thinking in you, impose an opinion. That would be absurd, because it means that if I can impose an opinion in you, then someone else, the government or someone else, is going to do the same. That would be manipulation, like just planting an idea in you. I don't want to plant an idea in you. I want to give you the tools so you can reach to your own informed opinion and your decisions, whatever they are. That's how important freedom is for me. You exercise them with all the information and the clearest possible take on things. That's what I have been doing in my YouTube channel, in fact. Just trying to speak about facts, sometimes about body language, sometimes about human behavior, and now we're talking about worldwide affairs that are affecting all of us in ways that, well, these are crazy times. But let me see, there's another. Palabras sabias, you are very wise, Jesus. Thank you. I don't think I am wise. Maybe in 20 or 30 years I could consider me that. I just like to think that people deserve the right to have the thinking tools, to learn how to think, not learn what to think. How to think, that is my goal, and that is what I can help you attain. I'm still learning myself. There's so much that I want to learn about worldwide affairs and politics and economics. I have, you know how curious I am about many topics, but this is the moment that I need to focus my mind and my brain and all my mind energy into this stuff to make sense of this. And let's see how can we fix our countries. Blackfish Blues. Body language guy, I watched some of your bits about Megan and other light topics, but now I've discovered you make recent commentaries on world affairs. Thanks. Yes, I think it's a bit. Thank you, Blackfish Blues. Yeah, I know it sounds a bit odd. Like, how do I talk about gossip and talk about other topics? It's something that I think in building blocks, and I have to confess this. I've been avoiding politics and avoiding all this world conflict stuff for a long time. And I made a very long live stream on a Royal Road channel like 1 week ago. You can go watch it and understand why this change. That live stream has all the description on my Royal Road channel. There's 2-hour live. I have an announcement to make. That is the title, and you can watch it or if you want. But remember the video I have in this channel, the Body Language Guide channel, how governments use illegal immigration to control you. Watch it. It's gonna help you understand many things. But my body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Until we meet on another video or another live, remember the most important words: much love and bliss. And we need love more than ever. Take care. Be safe. I love every single one of you. Most probably I will be live on the Royal Road channel in about half an hour. Yeah, half an hour. If you want, we will meet there in the Royal Road channel. Take care. Love every single one of you. Bye-bye.